Welcome to the Northern Knits Podcast.
Hi.
Woohoo! We survived for another week. Jocelyn made it home from Saskatchewan.
Yay!
Yay! No, yay!
And brought the summer back with her.
Ugh. I'm sorry about that.
We were having some lovely fall weather. Why'd you have to go and bring the summer back?
I don't know. It's been following me everywhere. If you don't know who we are two almost sisters-in-laws sharing a love of fibre. So this is a knitting podcast coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and officially coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, for I have returned. Therefore, I am not in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan anymore.
It is not simultaneously from two places at once.
We are from exactly the same place this time. I'm back in my comfy chair. It feels amazing. Because comfy chair.
Comfy chair is nice.
It is. And we're back now that I can see Diana and not the web camera. This is going to make life much easier. So, Diana, my dear, why don't you tell everybody what we're going to cover this week?
This week we are going to cover What's in Our Cup, Woolly Workings, Yarn on the Go, Fibre Flubs, So Little Time, Spinning Yarns, a new segment called Wool Gathering, events, and a review.
Oh, we're jam-packed this week.
We are.
All right. Well, why don't we start with What's in Our Cup?
Yeah, Jocelyn brought back all this fancy tea.
I brought back exotic Saskatchewan tea.
So exotic. Saskatchewan is literally the most exotic place on the planet that I can think of.
It's the province over. I had fun. Me and my mom held back. Which we only bought 5 new teas for me to bring home, which for us is holding back.
Right.
Yeah. So I brought them over tonight so everybody could try it. I am trying a Bourbon Street Vanilla. It is caffeine-free because it is after 9:30. No, it's almost 9:30 Manitoba time right now.
It is. It smells amazing.
It is a very nice, sweet, dark tea. I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad I picked it up.
I'm drinking Druid's Magic.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. And these are from... No, mine is from Tea Desire.
Yours is from Tea Desire, which is right close to my mom's house in the Circle Mall. And then the Bourbon Street is from the Berry Barn, which is just outside Saskatoon. My dad took me there as I am a fan of Saskatoons, and they make a mighty fine salad, so we went out for lunch one day.
It sounds lovely.
Oh, it was beautiful. It's a great piece of land, and it was gorgeous outside, and it had wind and sun, and it just, yeah. It was the most excellent place to go.
All right. I imagine you got lots of knitting done while you were on vacation.
Oh, did I ever.
Is this like a million different projects kind of knitting, or just a lot on one thing?
It's a lot on one thing. I've been hauling butt since I got back because I fell behind on my 365 project, so I've started to make up for that. But it's been a lot on one project. Do we want to segue into Woolly Workings?
I think so.
Do we want to talk about how it is just abysmally hot in Winnipeg today?
Yeah, it's still not as hot as Vegas, so I'm not going to complain, but yeah, it's pretty hot.
It's
close.
My first day back and it's 33 degrees above in the middle of the day.
It's pretty hot.
That's gross temperatures.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, if my dad wasn't home to drive me around, I would not have bought groceries, and my refrigerator was starving.
Refrigerator was starving.
My refrigerator went on a 2-week juice cleanse, and man, did it need to have some roughage put in there. So hungry. All that was in there was my plant milk.
I feel like this could go some very unappetizing places very quickly.
Well, it's one of those ones where my mom calls. She asks me how my fridge is doing, because that's what moms do. They want to know if you're feeding yourself. Your mom probably does the same thing when she comes over here. She checks your fridge.
No, I'm pretty sure I actually cook better than my mom, so she's never actually asked me how my fridge is doing.
Oh, my mom asks me how my fridge is doing all the time. I mean, I'm notorious for forgetting to eat.
I don't do that.
So I understand where the check and balances thing comes, because I won't forget to drink things all day long, but I will forget to actually consume real food. So, okay, that's a thing. So my mom will ask me how my fridge is doing, and when we got home on Sunday, she's like, I don't think we're eating out of your fridge. I'm like, my fridge has been on a 2-week juice cleanse. No. I've been in the truck for 8 hours. I do not want to spend the next hour and a half trying to find something to cook out of my pantry. So,
I mean, you'd think your choices would be fairly limited, so it would be a very quick decision.
I don't think my dad would go for beans and rice, so...
beans and rice?
It's not a thing he likes on its own. So we opted to grab some not healthy for you food and eat that instead, which was fine. And then spent a huge amount of time on Monday stockpiling for fall winter stuff, because you bake more in the fall and in the winter. you do more stuff, because summer is really, I don't want to heat up my space. So much food yesterday. So much food, it's not even funny. So, but my fridge is stocked, my cupboards are stocked, all the Experimental Tuesday stuff.
Excellent.
Yay! My parents went home this morning. I got the text. They made it home safe and sound. So they're back home with my mom's cats. Mr. Smokey, who's been featured on Instagram since I left.
He does like the yarns.
He's both a delight and a pain in the butt when one knits.
I was enjoying all the cute pictures.
It's really cute to look at. I have far more respect for people who've taught their cats not to chew on their yarns, because I spent 2 weeks teaching a 14-year-old cat not to chew on my yarn.
And how'd that work?
I was fine. By the end of it, he'd figured out he'd lose his lap if he chewed on the yarn, so he wasn't chewing on the yarn.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, he liked the heat. But yeah, woolly workings. Oh, man. Remember last week I said I was working on just the Find Your Fade shawl?
Mm-hmm.
I have upped that. I have worked on 2 other things, plus my Find Your Fade shawl.
I've also worked on 3 things. Well, really just 2 things.
Really just 2 things? Well, we'll go with the Find Your Fade, because I've already mentioned it. I am now to the second last color.
Yeah, you're leaving me in the dust.
It's got to be done by Thursday.
Yeah, mine's not done by Thursday.
So,
if I start winding the remaining yarn now, I might have all the yarn wound by Thursday.
Oh, no. I should, theoretically, if I put in a long day tomorrow knitting, I should have it done, which is totally fine, because it means I can block it tomorrow night, and I'll mention why I then have to deal with some artisanal detailing in another segment we do.
Oh, dear.
And then from there, I can definitely take it in Thursday early afternoon and get it entered into the Woolsey Wool Contest.
Well, I'm glad at least one of us finished.
I didn't have any doubts that I would finish.
My Find Your Fade is still in the second color, but I'm spanning... My second color spans 2 sections, so I'm in the second section.
Of the second color?
So I'm technically in the third color.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could sit there and list all of the yarns that I've used for the project, but I'm just going to say, no, go to Ravelry. I've got it all marked in there. I'm using 3 Ancient Art yarns and 2 Manos de Urgray's Algaria yarns. Still love mispronouncing that name. But no, it's turned out really good. It's got some wonderful pops of color and great fade, but yeah, I know you're doing yours in the travel yarns?
Yes, I have all my various travel yarns that because I travel places and I don't want knickknacks, so I get yarn.
Yeah, well, knickknacks just take up shelf space, and then you gotta dust the things.
So I've got, so far I've got San Francisco and most of London done.
Oh, wonderful.
The next one will be the home skein, and then the Dublin skein, and then the San Jose skein.
Oh, well, you are making progress. You didn't sit down and knit for like 6 hours a day, so like...
No, I was not doing that. I made good progress.
I was on vacation. I wasn't really doing anything else. I was hanging out with my mom in bookstores, shopping, or knitting. That's what we were doing. Keeping up on Game of Thrones. It's important stuff.
It's very important stuff.
Mm-hmm. In my mom's eyes, anyway.
It's extremely important. Westeros is screwed. No spoilers, but Westeros is screwed.
Well, it's something you could say from season 1, so...
Yeah.
I don't think that's really changed.
It's not really a spoiler.
That's not a spoiler.
It's even more screwed.
Yeah, no, we knew that from season 1, so that's fine. So, no, I've been enjoying that. So we'll know next week whether I've made the very, very tight deadline of tomorrow and 50 billion more rows of fingering yarn. I would have had more progress done. I might have potentially been in my last color, but I couldn't take it any longer.
Had to do something else?
I had to do something else. It's an 8-hour drive from Saskatoon to Winnipeg. My dad does all of it, because both me and my mom are visually impaired. It's a toss as to who's got worse vision at this point. In some ways I do, in other ways she does, so it just depends on what we're doing, and the day. So, that's fine. I could not do another day of knitting that fingering weight shawl in the truck. It's so big now, and I would be in the sun most of the time. I would just have warm wool in my lap.
Oh.
gross. It was 29 degrees for a high in Saskatoon when we left.
Blah.
It was already in the 20s. It was in the mid-20s all the way home. And then we have air conditioning. Like, Dad drives a big Dodge, all the extra buttons. He's got a button that cools or heats the seat bottom in the front row.
It's a fancy truck.
And it heats the seats in the back all year round. So, like, it's a fancy... You've been in it. It's a fancy truck.
It is a fancy truck.
Which is good, because that's what he wanted, so that works just fine. So I decided to finally start the Zadie sweater. I had done the math. My gauge swatch was good. All I had to do was cast on, and then I avoided it, because it's a lot of stitches to cast on at my size.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, so I cast it on. We came home on Sunday. I cast it on Saturday night about 1 a.m.
The best time to cast on sweaters.
Clearly. Then I went to bed. Because it was 1:30 in the morning. And I had to be up and in the vehicle and out the door by 8 a.m. So, needed to get some sleep.
Good, solid planning right there.
I was proving my adult skills like nobody's business. So that was fine. So I knitted the hem and a couple of inches up the body.
Nice.
I could have gotten more done, but I napped between Regina and Mooseman. I was tired. I'd only had about 5 hours of sleep.
No, really?
So I was kind of, that had to happen. But I'm doing that on the Cloudborne yarn from Woolly Hannah.
Come on, this
Craftsy.
is why we make show notes.
Craftsy, which would help if I actually looked at them. But it's the Cloudborne yarn from Craftsy, and I'm doing it in a gray color, which looks really pretty. I'm so excited, and I'm at the miles and miles and miles of knitting. So
I'm so excited that you're making a sweater.
Oh, you don't have to count rows. All you have to do is knit till it's the right length in inches. Pfft, I can totally do that. So it is super TV knitting, or in this case, truck traveling knitting.
Excellent.
What else have you been working on, my dear?
I've been continuing plugging along on my wedding shawl,
Okay.
which is the Even Star Shawl by Susan Pandorf, and I am doing this out of undyed lace-weight lamb's wool.
Ooh.
So it's I'm pretty sure it's the perfect yarn for this shawl, because it's like toothy enough that it grabs, so if I like happen to drop a stitch, it doesn't run.
Ooh, that's a bonus.
But it's also really soft, so it's gonna be really, really nice when it's all finished and soft and woolly.
Excellent.
And it's really strong, which is good,
Very exciting news.
because some of the stitches require quite a bit of tension.
Oh, man. That wedding shawl's gonna look amazing.
Yeah. Anything else I wanted to mention?
I'm not sure. I know you have some interesting lace sections.
Yeah, I have some fibre flubs to talk about with that later.
Okay. That's totally fair.
I have, I think, 11 rows left in the first chart.
Oh, so you're making progress then. That's good. I have made it home. So everybody knows what that means. Your 1 week of freedom from the mention of the 365-day Granny Square project
I was
is
going to
over.
say you bought more yarn, but no.
No, I did that while I was on vacation, and I'll
right.
be doing that again shortly. So I think we're good.
Okay.
My stash acquisition needs to shrink before I add to it, and I am adding to it later this year, so shrinkage needs to occur.
Okay.
So, 365-day Granny Square project. 3 friends joined. There is only 1 left. I am the sole survivor from this nightmarish snowman apocalypse of a thing. But I am trudging through. We're going to do it. I am officially just under 2 weeks behind because I did 2 squares this morning. So, now the trick is for me to do 2 or 3 squares till I am all caught up for the next several days. That's nothing. I literally have like an extra 14 squares to do. So if I do like 2 squares a day or 3 squares a day,
You'll be caught up in a couple of weeks.
I'll be caught up pretty quickly. So if I have a day where I really, really, really don't want to knit and I just want to crochet, I might just punch through all of them and do like 8 or 9 squares and shorten that time frame. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. So if I'm on hold waiting for phone calls and stuff, they're perfect.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because I can do rows and I can sit there and weave in ends. Like I can do stuff while I'm waiting on the phone, which happens to me a fair bit given my working. So that's fine. So that is being done. I'm doing it with the Red Heart soft yarn. Everybody, if you are not new, I apologize. If you're new, this is a huge long project. When you listen to any of the archived podcasts, you will notice that I mention it in every single one. And will continue to do so. until the first week of January 2018, when I will go, that's it, we're done, I'm not mentioning it anymore. I'm finished.
We will never speak of this again.
It has been amazing. It has been such a learning thing. It is not even funny. Like, I am so happy I'm doing this challenge. It is new stitches. I'm learning to do different types of squares. I've learned 3D squares. I have been able to practice my tension, my patterning techniques. Like, it's just, all of it is such a great base. My brain's like, oh. Now, I know how to knit, but I kind of wish I'd done 365 days of knitted squares just to get tension, just to practice techniques, just to do it, and do it in such a small sample size. Which, I mean, doesn't, but just to do it, just to get used to the motions, get used to the terminology, get used to reading patterns. And it just, now I look at crochet patterns and I'm like, I could do any of it.
I believe it.
I have such a nice background knowledge of the basics. It's so wonderful. It's a bit of a slog because I got to do at least one square every day. It is a commitment, and it is a time commitment. But no, I super highly recommend it for anybody, whether they know how to crochet or not. Like, just do it. You will be so excited at the end of the year. I mean, you will have 365 grinding squares you don't know what to do with, but that's okay. They will find projects. I have no doubt about this.
For the record, 60 to 80 squares makes a good-sized blanket.
True story.
I know this because I have made a 64-square blanket in the past.
I'm thinking about making my great aunt Geraldine a giant bedspread for her bed.
It will be giant.
It will be giant, but she sees like very little to absolutely nothing. So I'm thinking all of my 3D squares, the ones with very distinctive pattern textures to them, because the colors are irrelevant to her. She doesn't really see them anymore, but then she can feel the different textures on the blanket. So
I think that would be a really amazing present.
I think that would be an amazing thing to do for my great aunt. She has had a tough couple of years, so it'd be nice to give her something. She's an excellent knitwear recipient.
Oh, good.
She will be very enthusiastic. She's the one who bought me the weave loom, so I could teach myself to weave, because she decided that that would be fun for me to learn. So, yeah, this is the super, super visually blind. If you ask her, she'll tell you she's really blind. She is a lady who will come over and help me garden, and she can't see the tomatoes. So,
I'm sure nothing ever goes horribly wrong.
Oh, it's always a delight. I can't tell you that we're fast in any stretch of the imagination, but we have fun, so it's okay.
That's the important part.
That's the important part. So, there's that. But there you go. Those are the 3 things I've been working on this week. That list will continue to expand as soon as I am done the Find Your Fade shawl.
I imagine it will.
Ugh.
I have
taking a break.
One more thing.
You have one more thing. Go for it.
Well, sort of a thing. I wound the yarn for the Wonder Woman shawl.
You want to race?
No, I have a very hard deadline on that one.
It's C4.
Because I really, really, really want to wear it at C4, so...
So do I. I want to wear mine. We need to go and be twinsies.
Yes.
I plan to give myself 2 whole months, so I'm starting in September, which is Friday.
That's why I wound the yarn yesterday.
Yep. I'm not doing another finger wearing at Shawl in less than 4 weeks.
No, that was a terrible idea.
Because if we're keeping track, I started the day you flew home from Vegas. The week after you flew home from Vegas. 2 weeks after?
Oh, I don't remember. 2 weeks after.
2 weeks
after. It
after.
was the week after, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been 4 weeks. It'll be just shy of 5 weeks by the time I'm finished a 1,400 yard fingering weight shawl. Now, I can haul butt, but oh my goodness, if I ever do this pattern again, it is not on a timeline. I'm so over this pattern. I'm desperate to put it down, and the only thing keeping me going is that I just have to make it to Thursday. And then if it's done, I don't have to knit it again. And I can put it away and enjoy it when I'm not so grumpy about it.
I think we've established I'm bad at deadlines.
So I will start the 1st. We will start September off right. Wonder Woman shawls in Le Burger Week.
Yes.
There we go. We will go to fancy burger places, eat extraordinarily crafted burgers, and knit together.
Yes, and it's Knit Club on Friday.
Oh my god. Done.
Friday's going to be great.
Friday's going to be amazing.
Okay, just have to survive till Friday.
No, that's totally doable. It's only a couple days away. For those of you who don't know, we record on Tuesdays. Podcasts usually go live anytime between like Thursday and Saturday.
Occasionally
Depends
Sunday.
It depends on Diana's schedule. I make sure it's up and ready for her by Thursday when she gets home from work.
Depending on what is going on in my life, I may or may not get to it till Saturday.
It's a thing. You're doing a lot of stuff right now, and you got a lot of balls in the air, so that is totally fine. Whether or not it makes it to you Thursday before or after dinner is entirely dependent on how much of the knitting I got done on Wednesday. Editing and knitting at the same time is interesting, folks.
Good luck with that.
Thanks, man!
We are on to Yarn on the Go.
Oh, that's me again, isn't it?
It is primarily you, yes.
My yarn was in Saskatoon. My yarn came home from Saskatoon.
Came home from the exotic locale?
Saskatoon, exotic location of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Lo-xotic E-cale?
Exotic locale.
Maybe it could be a Lo-xotic E-cale, and then it's some kind of school.
Yeah, sure, that'll work. We got into the truck 9:15 a.m. Saskatchewan time, which is 9:45 Manitoba time.
That's early.
Yep. And then drove for 8 hours.
That's too much driving in one day.
I slept for 2 of those hours. And then I knitted for the other 6 while talking to my dad.
I mean, all things considered, that's not a terrible day.
It's a pretty sweet day. Talking to Dad keeps him awake. We ate a lot of fruit because he likes watermelon, so we ate an entire watermelon on the drive.
Nice.
We ate an entire bag of snap peas on the drive. And these are all knitting-friendly stuff. I was worried about the watermelons might be too juicy, so Dad included a fork for me.
Oh, excellent. He was thinking.
And it was too early in the morning for me to eat, so I had my oatmeal in a travel mug. And a spoon and a fork so I could eat my oatmeal in the truck. And I could have my watermelon in the truck. Feeding me on the go is kind of hard, so we did that, and Mom napped and read in the back seat. So it was a full truck coming home. We bought too much stuff for Jocelyn. And we talked about different patterns that I could use for the brown yarn that I picked up. So I was describing different types of patterns to my dad, and he was thinking, what would work, what wouldn't work, and discussing those sorts of things, because that's what my dad's into. He likes learning about things, so he's been good that way. But my yarn on the go was coming home.
Some good going.
And enthusiastically greeting my bed.
Yeah.
By face planting into it and sleeping for 9 hours.
You always miss your bed so much when you go away.
No, the bed I stay at my parents' house, pretty dang comfortable. There's 2 mattress toppers on it, so it's got a sufficient amount of comfy squish. And I got new pillows this year. So you have the nice, extra fluffy new pillows.
That's like hotel level right there.
It is a pretty snazzy bed now. Mom and Dad have done a lot to it. And my niece, who stays in the same room when she's out, decided they needed new sheets and comforters for it. So it has new sheets and comforters. Because Grandma was informed that her sheets and comforters were old. And definitely not hip. So that had to change. So
did the 10-year-old use the word hip?
I don't know. My mom was telling me, so I was just like, yeah, okay. It's because she got a new bed this year, so she's been getting new sheet sets and comforters from all of us, because she's been upgraded to a double, which will be her bed size till she goes to university or college and buys her own bed, so it's her adult-sized bed. And the single one she moves a bit too much, so she kept falling out of it. So hoping the double gives us enough space that even though she flops around at night, she's less likely to tumble out of bed on her own.
I used to fall out of bed a lot when I was little.
Yeah, so we're just my sister had to do the same thing, and I had to do the same thing. A lot of kids move around a lot when they sleep. Not everybody, but a lot do. So that's fine.
I had one of those guardrail things on my bed, and I would fling myself against it so hard, I would wake up wedged between the guardrail and the mattress, and I'd be stuck until somebody came and helped me.
About the 3rd time when she fell out of bed and didn't even wake up because she was sleeping, or she would be so far out of bed her feet would be touching the floor and only her upper body would be in bed. We're like, no, let's just get her a wider bed. She's going to need one eventually anyway. We'll just upgrade that. So right now it's sitting on the floor because the box spring, or the bed frame hasn't come in yet. It was back ordered, so we're just waiting for that to show up, which is fine. But yeah, my yarn on the go was bringing my yarn home. Woo, bringing home the bacon.
My yarn just goes to work with me.
And then putting all of the yarn I bought and all the yarn I took away, putting it back where it belongs. Dear heavens.
Your stash is very healthy?
Oh my god. My stash needs a detox.
Shall we move on to fibre flubs?
If we have to.
I have a successful flub story.
Is there an unsuccessful flub story? Isn't it flub story? Come on. I was knitting last week and I had a live on air flub.
I'm actually kind of proud of my flub. Not the fact that I flubbed, but my solution to it.
I was like, I'm never really ever proud of my flubs, but sure. We'll go with that.
Alright, so I'm knitting my wedding shawl.
I'm with you.
Which is lace.
I'm with you.
In lace weight.
I'm still with you.
So I'm going along, and one of my sections doesn't have enough stitches.
Okay.
Well, poo. So I look back 2 rows down, and I consult the chart, and I consult my knitting, and I consult the chart, and I consult my knitting. Yep, definitely missed a yarn over right there.
Oh, no.
Well, poo, and this is like right in the middle of the lace pattern, so if I just fudge it, it's really obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I could unknit all of this, but I'm pretty sure that there's a way to just fix it and fake it. And like put in an afterthought yarn over.
Yeah.
So with some Googling and YouTube and photo tutorials.
Oh my, I pulled out all the skill sets.
With my magical Google Foo.
Google Foo?
Google Foo, you know what? It's a really important job skill.
Okay.
I managed to insert a yarn over 2 rows down, and you can't even tell that I ever screwed it up.
Oh, okay, so what you're saying is you've got mad skills.
I have mad lace skills, guys.
Duly noted. Because I would not have been able to do that.
I'm actually super proud of the end result of that, as I learned something from flubbing.
Gosh, that would be amazing. My fiber flub seems, I mean, to me it was what's the word? Traumatizing?
What is your flub? I don't see any flubs.
So I was knitting, and I'm into the section just before the section I'm on now. And every once in a while, when I'm knitting straight knit, garter? No, stockinette. That's called stockinette, right? When you knit both sides?
Garter when you knit both sides.
Garter when you knit both sides. That's not really the end of the world, but I will occasionally somehow magically make yarn over holes. I don't tink back. I just go back and enclose them up real quick in the end. Nobody knows they're there. They're artisanal details. I don't know why it happens to me. It's just something happens. And it's not often, but every once in a while. I know there's one in the shawl here somewhere. So, don't even think about it. But I pay attention in lace sections. A, because I don't see very well. And B, because I'm not sure I would be any good at repairing a problem in lace if it were to happen. So what happened in my last lace section I just did is I didn't drop a yarn. One of my yarn strands broke.
Oh no!
So I got to the end of my lace, and halfway down the middle it had started to fall apart because one of the strands had broke because I hadn't picked up the full strand. I had split the stitch somewhere. So here I am, midnight Saskatoon time, clutching my yarn to keep it together, panicking, climbing out of my knitting chair, going over to my mom on the side of the couch, turning on all the lights, my mom grabbing her magnifying glass, and me and my very visually impaired mother had to magically put it back together.
All things considered, I think it looks pretty good. The couple of the holes are maybe a little bigger than they should be.
Yeah. So
I like the number of stitch markers holding it all together right now.
Just to tell me where it is, because I've not gone in, and what I do is I use invisible thread to go in, and I sew the mistake closed, especially in the lace section. I think that's going to be my best route to get a nice tight seal without having any extra yarn weight put in there. I certainly can do that, which is why I've never worried about the little holes, because they're like small holes in your clothing. I've been fixing those for years. So it's a small artisanal detail that I need to see to when I'm done knitting this thing. But that was my fiber flub, and there was all the panic because I was a province away from everybody who knows enough about knitting to help me when things go sideways. And look how far I'm into the shawl. I'm 85% done the shawl, almost 90% done the shawl. And I can't pick up stitching rows to save my soul. I would have had to have hoped one of the, and I mean, admittedly, they're amazing knitting ladies at the knitting stores. I would have had to have hoped one of them been able to rescue me if I'd had to think back through all of the lace. and I hate knitting this lace pattern. Because all I want to do is get to the next color. So you do your straight garter sections, and you're like, yes, I'm almost in the next color. And then you realize you have to do 24 lace repeats.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, no, because they take longer, and all you want to do is put the next color on.
Oh yeah, I'm at that part right now.
But that's my fiber flub. That was my panic-inducing. I had a cup of tea, I fixed it, I put my knitting down, and I went to bed because I couldn't. I couldn't. Mom was like, no, that's too stressful.
I understand.
That's going to give me gray hairs. Put that away from the night. Apologies for the sniffles. I've still got allergies going.
I think yours is far more traumatic.
Oh.
Mine was just like, poo, there's a mistake.
No, mine was...
Mine... yours is the mistake is growing.
Oh my god. What am I going to do?
I think that turned out alright. I think it's going to be okay.
We survived. By the skin of our teeth. But yeah, that's my fiber flub. Not sufficient enough. Like, that just about aged me 5 years. I'm not... No. No, I'm good. I don't need any more, thanks.
No, you're good. It's all good. It's all part of the learning process.
It is. So, if that's it for fiber flubs, what do we got next?
So Little Time. Which is both of us, for once.
It is. What did we go do the day after I came home?
The day after you came home.
I had a full day. I was moving from 9 a.m. till 9:30 at night.
That's a lot of moving.
I did a lot of stuff.
Was there any shaking?
No, there was a lot of complaining that my knee hurt.
Anyway, we went fabric shopping.
Dun, da, da, da.
Because Jocelyn is making us fancy Regency-era dresses for the Pride and Prejudice ball coming up in a couple months.
I am.
As payment, I am buying the tickets.
Which seems fair to me.
Yes. The tickets are not cheap, but neither is making dresses.
It's going to be about an 8 to 10 hour job, so yeah.
So I super appreciate it. I am quite happy to buy the tickets.
Because I'm going to start by making it for me, because I tailor down a little bit under the girls. Mm-hmm. My underspace is slightly smaller. There's a bit more of a divide for you, and I want to set it up so that even if you have weight fluctuations or if you have issues and stuff, that we can tailor it down so that we look good in said Regency era dresses. So there's going to be some modifications going in there.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm going to start with mine because I know what I need to modify to make things work for me. Then you can take a look at the finished version of mine and you can tell me higher neckline, lower neckline, whatever sort of alterations you want to make or where you would like to put things, and then I have a much better idea of how to alter the pattern because I've done it once already. So the fabric is bought. I need to wash it at some point this weekend, I suspect, because you pre-wash your fabrics, and because it is 30 plus and it's sunny and it's warm, those bad boys are going out on the line to air dry.
And they will be dry in less than an hour, I'm sure.
Or 2 at the most. But it means I don't have to run the dryer, which heats up the basement. So
yeah,
I definitely use the line dryer in the summertime when I can. But that's where we're setting. Theoretically, I probably won't start them till about mid-September. I had some other stuff I gotta do now that I'm home. But about mid-September I'll be ready to start tackling those. I had some things I gotta finish up first. Which works. It still gives me about a month to make the dresses, and that's more than enough time.
Awesome. Yep. And then we just have to find shoes and gloves.
Oh, I have flat shoes. I just need to find gloves.
Okay.
I'm just going to wear my basic black ballet flats.
I have some dark blue shoes that might work. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Otherwise, I might be making a trip to the cheap flat shoe store.
Don't. That's nothing. I'll go with you for that. I love more flat shoes. Variations. Variety. Give me more shoes. I would like to be the stereotypical girl and have more than I could ever wear. I want that problem.
I have too many shoes already.
Oh, I've pared down over the years, but that's just to accept my new ankle and knee standards. Yeah. I haven't quite given up on a lot of them, but I've given up on a chunk. On the ones I know I can't go back to.
Makes sense.
It's not bad. But there you go. That's our so little time. The progress continues. I have not been home long enough to double check all of the Etsy stuff to make sure it's still as good as it was when I left to push live. I've been home for 48 hours, of which I have actually been in my house for about 12.
And most of those have been sleeping?
And 8 of those 12 hours is sleep. I'm home long enough to sleep, make food, shower, and then I'm back out the door right now because I'm catching up with everything else that I had to put down when I went away for vacation. So no promises on the posting for that, because I said when I got home, now I got to catch up on all the adult stuff that backlogged while I was gone. So, got to start with that. Once that's all rolling again and comfortable, then I can jump back to the Etsy thing.
All right.
Mm-hmm. If anybody who does adulting things knows what I'm talking about, adulting.
It sucks.
I don't know. I don't mind being an adult. I don't want to be a kid because I like not being told when to go to bed and whether or not chocolate bars are breakfasts, but...
Chocolate bars are not breakfast, but that doesn't stop me.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I have chocolate. I make my own granola bars, and I put chocolate chips in them.
Well, see, that sounds perfectly adult. I was talking about things like ice cream sundaes while playing video games at 2 in the morning. Might have done that on the weekend.
That's not my problem. I like making my life easy, so I try to stick to a schedule. I try to go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time all the time.
Yeah, I don't. Saturday nights, if I want to play video games till 2 or 3 in the morning, that's fine.
Alright. I'm also a fan of my bed, so there's that.
My bed is loud sometimes.
Yeah, mine's not. What's next?
Spinning yarns.
Oh, that's just me.
That is just you.
Because I'm spinning while we podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, something different. I needed to do it. I need to keep working on it. My thread yarn is becoming more yarn-like. I'm getting more consistent, but practice makes perfect, so I'm chugging away at it. Still working on the same stuff I was working on before, so, you know, that's going to be forever with this one little bat of 2.9 ounces of wool because I literally spend for like 10 minutes, then I'm done. Maybe once or twice a week. But I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun.
Yeah,
I have
it'll
to try
get done eventually.
I have to try your electric wheel.
Yeah.
To see if I like that. Because then that could go on the Christmas birthday wish list. We should do that shortly.
We could do that on Friday at Knit Club.
Absolutely. Works for me.
So, let's continue on with our new segment, Wool Gathering.
Ooh, we needed a segment to tuck things, like new creators that we've discovered, or different people that we've met, indie dyers, things we just want to tell you guys about.
New patterns.
That we might not necessarily do anytime soon.
But we feel like you should know about it.
We feel
As I
the
click my
urge
pen
to
here.
share distinctly. Even if it's just sharing stuff with each other, because I know we're pretty good most of the time during the week. We don't talk too often about what we're knitting on.
No.
No, we try
Generally,
to...
it's like, this really amazing thing happened, or this really terrible thing happened.
Otherwise, we're pretty good. We're friends outside of knitting, so like there's always other things to talk about anyway.
Yep.
So it's not a problem, and it keeps the stuff fresh, as it were. So it's not something we've talked about 5 or 6 billion times. So it's not boring for us to record. So I'm really good at finding new content. Because I already have too much to watch in a week and listen to in a week and do in a week. I feel like I need more.
Right. I understand.
This is a thing. And I found a new YouTuber, a knitting podcast YouTuber,
Oh my goodness.
while I was on vacation.
Sure, okay.
His name is Levi.
Okay.
He lives in Ohio with his partner and their puppy. Well, old puppy.
Old puppy.
And he does WTF knitting.
WTF knitting.
WTF knitting is on Ravelry. I immediately sent off a friend invite after I watched the first episode. Because that is how amazing this man is. Oh my gosh, you guys. He randomly bursts into song. He has amazing works. He has absolutely no problems with admitting that he's on a budget, and he doesn't spend a lot of money on his stuff. This is totally legit. And that he's a nurse by trade. What he does is he's a nurse, so that's super cool in and of itself, because, hello, nurses, beyond important.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
That is so not a job I could do.
That is, I
So much
cannot
respect.
even begin to give enough respect and praise to people who choose to work in the healthcare industry fields. That is astounding at the amount of just sort of, not only just strength that they have, but the amount of caring that they can do. Oh my word. Like, I don't, and I appreciated them before I had my surgery in March. I can't even begin to think I appreciate them enough since my surgery. Not even remotely. So, I'm, like, already in awe. And then he's a delight. He is distracted half the time. He constantly says, "Get it together, Levi." He is amazingly flamboyant. So I was like, my brain was like, no, I need to know you. This needs to happen. This needs to be a thing.
This does need to be a thing.
I totally subscribed. I'm going to make Diana watch one of his YouTube episodes here shortly, because I know if I tell her to, she'll say yeah, but she won't do it. So
I don't know, I'm super into this. If I make a note, I might actually do it.
So I think that needs to happen, but if you guys haven't checked him out, he's got like 10 episodes, so he's really new. Do it. Oh my goodness, hands down, do it. It is so wonderful. He's thinking about opening an Etsy shop to make bags on the side just for fun, and the patterns and material combinations he has are freaking adorable. I'm buying a bag. I might wait till the Christmas stuff comes out, because it's a Christmas treat to myself, but I'm buying a bag.
Nice.
Can't help it. But yeah, it's WTF Knitting. Once you found him on YouTube, he's got his other stuff linked, because he's got a different name on Ravelry, and I'm awful with remembering names, but his name is actually Levi. I think he's the nurse that knits on Ravelry. I could be wrong. So yeah, that was one of those content creators where I was like, yes. I mean, I talk about the staples. I talk about the grocery girls. I talk about Cozy Up with the Stitch and Sisters. I talk about the Knitmore girls.
Mm-hmm.
Insert half a dozen other podcasts here. You've got your... What else do I got that I do all the time regularly without ever missing?
I started listening to
There's Sit Down and Carry Yarn, The Woven Road, the Prairie Stitch Girls, Tale of Two Knitters, which is a Winnipeg videocast. There's Laura and Leslie.
The Knit Girls.
So, like, already there's like 8 staples, and I just added WTF Knitting to that. And there's a couple of others that I've added. I just automatically subscribe to knitting podcasts, and then I go back and watch like 5 or 6 episodes before I decide if I like them or not. And I've got like 3 or 4 more I gotta watch to see if I like them. We need more podcasters. I need audio podcasting. That's what people need to do. Send me a message with audio podcasters that do knitting.
Or crochet.
Yeah.
Or maybe even spinning and dyeing.
Spinning, dyeing, crocheting. Books. You think I might find them interesting. I listen to podcasts that range from everything from Magic the Gathering to etiquette.
I've added information security to my podcasting list.
Yeah. Books, obviously. Knitting, beyond obviously. Then I have random weird joke humor ones. I'm a little more particular about those. And I do a lot of the CBC thinking ones. So the last one I listened to last night was actually the CBC Ideas podcast on Generation Mars Part 1, which I think you need to listen to, which is the trials and tribulations of getting, feasibly getting men and women to Mars, and how we would do that and keep them safe and have them healthy enough that they could survive on Mars when they get there.
That is a very difficult problem.
It is, and it was absolutely fascinating to listen to. This is my life, folks. The more, the better. Not so much blogs, and it's not because I don't like blogs, but I have a limited amount of visual time in my day. And I do mean limited, like some days I can't read. It's not going to work. And on days when I can read, I really focus on books and print, because I won't be able to read those forever. In the next maybe 5 to 10 years, I'm going to have to let them go and go straight digital. So I'm enjoying them while I have them, because I'm not going to have them for much longer, I don't think. If we're super lucky, I get to keep it for like for another 15, 20 years. But I'm planning to not be that lucky, so it's a pleasant surprise if it happens. But yeah, no, Levi from WTF Knitting. I had to talk about him. He's too great not to. Just stop, go find him on YouTube, and then come back.
Okay.
You're going to appreciate it. He's just so crazy. Just absolutely adorable. He just busts out laughing. And he has this amazing full-bodied laugh. You're just so contagious. I find myself laughing too, and I don't know why. I don't know why we're laughing. But I'm laughing.
This sounds amazing.
It's so good.
Clearly, I need to go watch all of these.
Yeah, so hopefully the new section will pop up randomly, but it'll just be things I've discovered along the way, and heavens knows I will follow a link on the internets and end up in the weirdest of yarn places.
I have a yarn thing I would like to promote.
Sure.
What all the hacker knitters are wearing this season.
Which I'm shortly going to wear, and I'm not a hacker knitter.
So hackers, as in computer hackers, or information security professionals who knit, really like fingerless gloves.
Can you blame them?
Fingerless gloves are amazing. So we were having this lovely online discussion all about the Trenza mitts by Susanna I.C.
Okay.
I discovered there's also a matching shawl.
What?
Yeah, so there.
Oh, that was the shawl you were showing me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
So
We have to link that in the show notes.
Oh yes, everything we talk about is linked in the show notes.
Perfect. Which is why you're in charge of show notes and not me.
Linking takes so long.
Oh my god, I am so appreciative you do the computery things. I will audio edit it from here to next Tuesday. Because I never have to do the techie, computery, linky things. I'm super happy.
Suits me. I hate audio editing. I don't hate audio editing, but I'm really glad I don't have to do it every week.
There's an art form to listening to yourself that long. But no, I love the pattern. Like, you've shown it to me, and they are a great cabled fingerless mitt with a shawl. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Yeah, so for those chilly winter offices, or those chilly summer offices, or those offices that were designed to keep men in three-piece wool suits cold in the 1960s.
Yeah, that'd be cold.
Yeah.
Even for me, that would be cold.
Yeah. So, fingerless mitts. Big thing among the fashionable hackers.
Absolutely. No, that's exciting. It's a really pretty pattern. Like, I'm super excited with the patterns. So, I am stoked to try it. And you just said they were free, hey?
Yeah, it's free pattern.
Done like dinner. So that's good. Oh, you know what else we could throw in this section? Knit-alongs. Mystery or other ones that we might not actually be doing. Because I don't think we're doing the What the Fade.
No. I looked at it and was like, I know I'm bad at these, so I'm not going to, but I'm really excited about it.
I love the concept. I really think I just need a break from mystery knit-alongs for a bit. And if I'm honest, I need a break from fades, because I'm doing that fade sweater for my niece. So I'm excited to see it come out, and I'm going to watch it grow as the photos start coming out. So I'm going to obviously obsessively Instagram watch all of the spoiler photos. But I think I'm going to have to pass on this mystery. Not that I don't want to. I don't think I have the time to know to it this close to Christmas. Which I know sounds a weird end of August, this close to Christmas, but I've still got 2 hats, a shawl, and potentially a sweater to finish by the 1st of December.
I've got,
And I do mean the 1st of December, because in events we will talk about why I am done knitting for Christmas this year as of midnight, the 31st of November. Is there 30 or 31 days in November?
30.
30? On the 30th of November at midnight, I'm done knitting for Christmas.
I mean, if you can do it on the 31st of November, that's,
oh my gosh.
I'll be really impressed.
Justin's brain's not all with us today, folks. We're doing the best we can.
It's 11:15.
That explains why I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Alright, we finished wool gathering.
Mm-hmm.
We are on to events.
Woohoo!
For which I will pull out my
Your thingy?
phone.
Well, I know for sure.
Oh, it's open.
I'm finishing the So Faded Summer Knit-along with Wolseley Wool. I have my Find Your Fade shawl. I will have it done by Thursday, which is the last day I can enter for that contest. The other one that the other two I'm participating with this shawl specifically, are the Canada 150 Make-Along, which is also at the end of this month, and the Summer Shawl, the Canada Make-Along 150 is with the Grocery Girls on their YouTube channel. And then the Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters are doing a Summer Shawl along, which they've extended to the end of September.
Yeah.
So I might get a hold of their entry into that one too. So I'm entering the Find Your Fade shawl across 3 contests. We'll see how that goes. But I am doing it to hit the parameters for Wolseley Wool. It had to be a Find Your Fade. So either a Find Your Fade shawl, a mini, a sweater. It had to be one of the Find Your Fades from Andrew Mallory. So the pattern matches. For the Canada 150 Make-Along, you had to be making something either designed by or yarn made by a Canadian. In which case, 2/3 of my shawl are Canadian yarns because they're the Ancient Arts yarns, with the 2 skeins of the Manos de Uruguay Algria yarn showed up. Put in there just because that makes... I really like the way the colors are working out. There's such bright pops of color and a nice blue-green mix, and the Ancient Arts yarn just looks really good. So I'm doing that. And then the shawl along popped up last minute, but it is a shawl, so we're done.
Done.
Not a problem. So we've got all those going for me. Next month I know we have...
The Manitoba Fibre Festival.
Oh,
That's just in a couple of weeks.
it is. It is not that long from now. It's 25th of September it starts?
15th.
15th?
Yeah.
That is even sooner than I thought. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's like...
What's on the 25th? Oh, the one out in Alberta. Do you want to go to Alberta for a fibre festival at the end of the month?
It's my brother's birthday, though. Not that he'll be here for that.
Nothing says we couldn't go to the fibre festival and visit in Brandon on the way home.
True.
Because he'll be back in school.
Yeah.
So we could do that. Or visit on the way out, however we wanted to do it.
Sounds like a lot of driving.
If I secure us free places to stay, will you drive?
I also need a car.
That might be harder to do. No, not really.
Well, I can't drive nothing, and I don't have a car.
No, I could figure it out. I'm good. I can make it work.
Are you just going to knit a car?
No. That's crazy talk.
I don't know.
If we include a stop and visit at my mom and dad's, they might offer to pay for half of the cost of a rental car. Like I said, I might be able to make this work.
Ah, so you can just make a car materialize.
Yes, I can. I have that kind of skills. I am that kind of person. I think we decided, me, Mr. B, earlier this week, I'm a superhero without a cape. Because I'm terribly klutzy, so having anything that would get caught indoors is a bad idea. So no cape, but I can do spandex. So
Okay.
I'm one of those kinds of superheroes. That's my life.
No capes.
No capes. So, but yeah, no, for sure, the Manitoba Fibre Festival, I am super looking forward to it. I've been seeing all the posts, and I'm really, I do not have time. I do not have time. But the urge to knit one of the shawls they put out in their collection on the webpage and take it in to get an entry is huge, because the Prairie Wind shawl is so freaking pretty. It is so pretty. It is just classic with a little edge detailing. Oh, it looks so good. I don't have time. I do not have the time. I know I don't have the time. The urge to do it is just way up there, guys.
Do one for next year.
I might. I honestly might. It's such a pretty shawl. It's not even funny. I don't even have yarn for it. I just said my yarn stash was huge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. That's a thing. Oh, I need to have Mr. B take me to Wolseley Wool on Thursday, or I'll end up buying yarn for that shawl.
You need a handler?
Oh my gosh, do I ever, you guys? You can't let me into bookstores, libraries, or yarn stores unattended. I'm like a small child. I will pick up everything.
I mean, the library's less bad because it doesn't cost anything.
I still
You'll
have
just
to
be-
cart them all the way home.
Yeah, it's just really heavy and
Yep.
you'll be there for 6 hours.
Yep. Don't want to do it.
Tracking right along.
What else do we got?
C4 is coming up at the end of October.
We're doing the Wonder Woman shawls.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
C4 is the Central Canada Comic Con. That is our local comic convention.
And if there was anywhere to wear a Wonder Woman shawl too,
It is so
C4.
that place. Yeah.
absolutely.
So.
Also, because there is a deadline you can meet. It is 2 months from now.
Yes.
You can do this.
I can do this. It is, in fact, exactly 2 months from today is the last day of C4.
Yeah, so you can do this.
I can do this!
You've wound the yarn,
I've run the red yarn.
which is, you gotta start with the red yarn, don't you?
Yeah.
So you can start the first section.
Yeah.
Get it started. Let's do this. You start a week ahead of me, and I'll catch up to you sometime next week.
Can I borrow your ball winder and Swift for,
Oh my God,
for the gold
absolutely.
yarn?
I'll bring it on Friday.
Okay, thank you. Because it took me 3 hours to wind that yarn last night, and my
Dear
arm still hurts.
Heavens. Oh my gosh. Yes, no, I will bring my ball winder and Swift. We can totally do that. That's not a
Thank
problem.
you. My
Yeah.
shoulder thanks you.
Not a problem. My daddy bought me a ball winder and Swift. Kinda nice.
I'm gonna have to get a ball winder and Swift.
Oh, he didn't buy me any fancy one. He just bought me a starter one. So I'd have something.
It's fine.
I'm like, it'll do the job. He's
It's
like,
faster than doing it by hand.
He's like, and as you upgrade, you can decide if you like this style, if you like the other style, and then you can figure out what you like from there. So,
Yep.
it was really nice. So, yeah. That's it. Oh,
The Pride and Prejudice Ball is the Saturday night of C4.
It is. I am sewing costumes for us for that.
Which we already talked about.
Yep.
And then the Grinch Along.
Starts the 1st of December.
Which is a thing that the Knit More Girls podcast does, wherein you do not knit any Christmas gifts for this year starting December 1st.
That's right. You get your Grinch on. You do things that make the holiday exciting for you. It's when you do the baking, the decorating, the things that make it Christmas without all of the stress of having to finish a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Which was amazing last year.
I am definitely doing it this year.
So chilled. I had all of my stuff done by the 1st of December. I just made my goal to have all the presents finished by then. They were wrapped. I decorated my tree that first weekend. It went up. I have a fake tree. And that's it. That's all I had to do. And then I just enjoyed my evenings and I baked. I mean, I didn't do the baking Christmas gifts because those obviously happen like the day or two before Christmas, so they're fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But I did everything else. And then I was able to enjoy the suppers and the dinners and the visiting and the friends and the family in town, and I didn't have that weight sitting on my shoulders that I hadn't finished my work. So I am definitely doing that again this year. Hands down, I'm super looking forward to it.
It sounds like a solid plan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
if I
on board with this
can,
plan.
I'm going to try to do some good and put in a scarf or two for Chase the Chill this year if I can.
Mm-hmm. It's also a good idea.
Yeah. No promises on that one, but I am going to try. Maybe I can do hats if they've got enough scarves coming in.
So happy if I can finish the Knit Club presents, which are knit out of bulky yarn.
Yeah, we bought a bulky yarn for that.
2 bulky yarns.
I shouldn't tell you I'm half done, right? There's only 4 of us in the group. We're a pretty small group.
Yeah.
So it's not hard.
I know.
She says, because I know Red has done, I think, more than one Christmas tree ornament ball for us.
Well, I'm making pairs of things.
That's true. I'm just making hats, so and mine's pretty easy. But yeah, no, it's exciting. Ugh. And then we'll be in 2018. Heavens knows I'll find more then.
Oh yes, I'm sure we will.
Oh, I'm super good at it, guys. All the links. Having said that, if there's something you think we should do.
Oh no. If there's some other yarn-related way that we should spend our time and money,
please let us know.
For we enjoy spending our time and money on the yarn.
Oh, do I ever. What was University talking about? Knitting is an addiction? I haven't watched it yet, so...
Denial.
Denial.
That's my state of addiction.
Well,
Denial.
My mom didn't raise a quitter, so... I'm good. Oh, but I think that's it for events for us.
It is.
Which just leaves our review.
It does. We shall do a review.
Oh, well, what magazine did I bring you this week?
This week we are reviewing from Magazine's Jocelyn collection. What?
Jocelyn's magazine collection.
It's late.
It is late.
From Magazine's Jocelyn collection.
I might have to label the shelf that now. Oh.
This is way funnier than it should be.
Yeah, it's too much sugar.
We are going to try to review the best of creative knitting. All-time favorite designs for year-round knitting.
Because Jocelyn loves them magazines.
Yep.
Oh.
So this is the October 27 magazine. 27? What? No.
2017.
2017.
For the record, the young person is having problems speaking, but the person who's... How many years older am I? 7? No, wait, how old are you? 26?
Yeah.
I am 8 years older than you?
Yeah.
Wow, and I will be 3 hours past my bedtime by the time I get home, ma'am. You are
I
not
have no
ready.
excuse. I don't know why I can't talk.
You are not ready for me to be fully healthy. I'm gonna run you under the stream. What's really sad, my late 70 grandparents, because my grandma would kill me if I told the universe how old she actually was. They're in their late 70s. Put me to shame with how much they do. And my grandma has an oxygen tank she takes everywhere with her.
Oh my.
She does more in a day than I do.
Because this must be like DEFCON levels of activity all the time. Because like that, I feel like that's the only way to do more activity in a day than you is like DEFCON levels.
If she is not out visiting friends, going to church, going to lunches, hosting dinners, doing Seniors for Seniors events, helping with the Seniors Co-op she's a member of, doing the Red Hat Dress Club Society stuff. She's phoning, talking, preparing for her granddaughter's wedding. She comes in and visits us in the city. She visits with her great-granddaughter. She goes on trips to visit Aunt Debbie. She goes to her son's gravesite. She is always on the go, constantly moving. My grandpa got back from Toronto a couple weeks ago because he's helping them set up a seniors co-op complex idea. My grandparents do a lot. They move and do things as though they're still in their 60s when they are not. My goal is to be that active when I'm in my 70s because
Alicia's just that active now.
Hannah, the only way to be that active is to get that active. There's your proactive PSA for the day. Complete with cheesy grin.
And finger pointing.
Anyway, let's get back to the review. I've gotten us distracted. Not a shock.
Yeah. Oh, I was also going to say that this retails for $9.99. I don't know if that's US or Canadian. That's all it says.
Canadian, I believe.
Okay.
I'd actually have to look at my receipt. I don't know.
I'm going to assume it's $9.99 Canadian.
I had to buy men's razors to shave my legs. That's why I was in the Shoppers Drug Mart.
Okay, I was like missing the connection there.
I was in Shoppers Drug Mart and I spotted it and I had to go get men's razors so I could shave my legs. Because ladies' razors don't work as well.
They really don't.
That's my opinion and I will go to the mat on that. Just don't think they work well. I am a strong opinion about this. Do we want to do an overview or would like to talk about the patterns?
I think we usually do patterns first.
We usually do patterns first because we're excited about the patterns.
Okay. I think you're more excited about the patterns. I am interested by all of the patterns, but I actually only have 3 written down.
Which, again, dollar ratio, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I wrote down a lot of notes because there were a lot of things I sort of liked, so I will blow through them pretty quickly. Mostly because most of the stuff that I like super hearted, there's only like a small handful of them. So there's really like only one from each section that I want to knit right now.
Okay.
But there's a couple from each section where I can see how having the pattern is going to be helpful. And I'm going to really appreciate that it's in my collection later on. Including, when we're done, some notes I've had on keeping your magazine collections organized so that you can find stuff. Because I know that can be a problem for some people.
That's smart, especially because half my magazine collection is at your house.
Yes, I have your crochet magazine collection right now. I'll tell everybody how I organize my physical magazines and how I'm going to put them in a digital format, how I'm going to organize them there too, so that I can find stuff if I'm at home and I can find stuff if I just want to be lazy and be on my phone. Sometimes getting off the couch is harder than it sounds, folks.
Mm-hmm. It's
a thing. So if we're starting with patterns, in the first section, which is the Knit and Purl Basics, did you like anybody in there?
No, I didn't start hearting stuff till almost the end.
My goodness. Well,
I know. I mean, I liked everything. I didn't dislike anything, but there's only a few things that really grabbed me, like, you should knit this.
There was only 2 that grabbed my attention. Of the 2, there's only 1 that I would knit right away. Time parameters. But I enjoyed the Weekender cardigan.
Okay.
It has I would do it in a rich dark color rather than the color they've chosen to do it in. But what I like is it does have just a small eyelet detailing on the cardigan. So you got it on the sleeves, and you got it on the front. Otherwise, it is a nice standard cardigan, which is really good if you're going to pair it with something with more sort of presence or pizzazz or a brighter color or a pattern to it that it would let you stay warm while you're doing, say, an office party or you're doing your family dinners or your friends' dinners and stuff without adding too much bulk to an outfit. So, my brain went, that is a great stable pattern to have.
Okay.
So that would look good in a dark, with like a dark brown or like a nice rich navy, like something that's got a fairly neutral palette. So if you wanted to put it with a pop of color with a flouncy Christmas dress, you could, and you'd still look put together.
Okay.
So it's got some stable basic potential.
I was very amused that it appears to be knit side to side.
I know, isn't that cool?
So if you had a lightly variegated yarn, it would make vertical stripes.
It would.
Which could potentially look really cool in, do you know that yarn at Woolsey that has, like, the rainbow barf, but just on one end? And the rest of it's a solid color?
Yes, that could look really good.
Yeah.
Side to side. So, there's a lot of potential with the pattern. Doesn't mean I want to sit down and knit that one right away, but it's definitely on that list of, you know what? I have a lot of crazy patterns because they catch my eye. Having a good stable pattern, I like that. I enjoy that it looks to be a side to side. So I did not
I think it's growing on me now that we're discussing it.
I did not read every single pattern word for word because I have to read all magazine patterns under a magnifying glass at a 6 times magnification. So this is not even a magnifying glass that you can get over the counter at a drugstore or in a Walmart or in, like, I have to buy specialty magnifying glasses.
You got the fancy magnifying glasses.
I have fancy thick magnifying glasses, and the lenses, the circle's quite small, and that's because the higher the magnification, the smaller the circle. And because I don't have what is called a closed circuit television yet, a CTV, I don't have a way to digitally have the image brought to me and increased in font and have the contrast and color font changed so that it's easier to read. So right now my reading, especially for patterns in magazines, while I will never give them grief about the font size because they are working on restricted guidelines for how they're put together, it does mean I'm slower at it. So I have a tendency to read like the intro for a pattern, look really closely at the pictures and sort of take a gander, and I skim a couple of row sections. So I'm not always super aware of how the construction is detail to detail. But if they've got diagrams, I look at diagrams closely. If they've got charts, I look at the charts closely. But I can't, to read a magazine cover to cover is about 10 hours worth of work for me. I pick and choose how I'm doing it because the font is quite small, so.
Yeah, I also do about the same when I'm skimming patterns.
Which is fine. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
But I know, while I don't know fully on the construction, like, that's just, my brain went, yes.
Well, I didn't, like, read that it was side to side. I just sort of looked at it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure the only way to get the eyelets to look like that is to do this side to side.
It's possible, yeah. But it looked really good, and it's unfancy enough I could wear it to the office every day, but it's fancy enough I could take it to a fall harvest dinner.
Yes.
That's a perfect range to be in for some people. Because it could be a mom cardigan, it can be a hipster college studying cardigan. It's got a lot of versatility to it, so I like that. The other thing I really liked in the knit and purl basics is the multi-directional comfort, which is a pullover.
It looks cozy and squishy.
If you ski, if you downhill or cross country, if you snowboard, if you snowshoe, if you build igloos outside for fun, snowman building, if you go to farmers markets in the fall where it doesn't get above 10, that's that sweater.
Okay.
That's the pullover. I'm going to be outside. I might need a vest. I might need a coat. I don't need to bundle up like I'm the Michelin Man yet. We're not that cold, folks, but
different levels of cold.
But we're at the point where I need something with some gravitas. I need a bit of weight to my sweaters. That's what that sweater says to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a sweater that you take to craft sales, and when you get warm, you can pull it off, and you got a nice shirt underneath, but when you're leaving the hall or wherever you are, you pop it back on, and you're fine.
It looks very cozy.
Again, in my brain went, you know what, I might actually do that in a lighter color, because that would look really good, and it's got a nice, thick, kind of cozy turtleneck color, not like a tight collar, but like a loose one, and it just, again, it's not going to be hard to knit, because it's a straight up knit purl pattern. Like, it is a basic pullover sweater, but for some people that's perfect. That's exactly what they want. It's exactly what I want when I'm walking in the fall with a light vest and my backpack, and away I go. But my back stays warm and my core stays warm, but I'm not sweating because my arms aren't so warm. Yeah. It's a thing. When you overheat, you are very aware of what is too many layers and what is enough layers. Too
Layers
many
are important.
Make your life miserable.
Oh, yes.
In my case, I looked at it and I went, oh, with a vest, Halloween decorating the yard.
Yeah?
Halloween decorating takes an entire weekend for 4 people.
Yeah, well, your family is crazy into Halloween.
We really are. It's kind of crazy.
They're that crazy over-decorated house on the block.
Oh, we're the crazy over-decorated house that gets interviewed every couple of years. Yep, that's right. That's the kind of house I live in.
You're that crazy house.
We're that crazy house. We're the crazy house that people come across the freaking city. It's a half-hour drive to get across Winnipeg, and we get people coming from my area, like the other areas of town, bringing their kids. Oopsies. If we see less than 150 kids, if we see about 150 kids, it's a slow year.
Wow.
And most of the people are like, oh, well, we saw like 50. I'm like 50. I haven't seen just 50 kids for Halloween since I was a kid. And we did Halloween in the Northwest Territories. We were already in full snowsuits.
I remember being in full snowsuits as a kid.
Oh yeah, Dad drove us in the truck because we weren't allowed to walk that long. We had weather warnings. So we got out of the truck, walked up, knocked in the house, got the candy, went back to the truck, jumped in, went down to the next house, got out of the truck, and it was just a line of parents and vehicles doing this all around the city. The vans were full, so, you know, the kids and the kids' friends were all in the van. They'd all pile out. I've had a fantastic life.
I remember my when I was about 8, my princess costume had to be able to fit over the snowsuit.
Yep, that sounds about right. Alright, that was it for the first section. The second section, I did is a taste for lace and open work.
Yeah.
There was a couple. I liked the hint of lace cardigan, not like a ton, but I was thinking, because it's a cropped cardigan, sort of over shawl thing, I was thinking in a summer cotton.
Oh, maybe.
To go over a summer dress. Not the super fancy take to wedding summer dresses, but like the backyard barbecue party kind of summer things, where you might want a little something in the evening because it cools down just a smidge, but not enough you actually want any wool, or like in a linen, something really light and summery. I could see that
Alright.
being a thing. What I really, really liked in that section where I went, I want to knit this, is the Ocean Dreams.
Okay.
Yes. And I literally, in my notes, wrote buckets of yes.
Buckets of yes.
Buckets of yes, folks. In a light speckle, sorry.
Ooh, yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. Again, possibly in a cotton or a linen, because it's definitely a summer knit, and so for me, I'm looking for absolutely no weight whatsoever. But in a light speckled linen,
yeah, okay, that'd be quite nice.
I think that would be really lovely. So, as I need a shawl for Diana's wedding, I am on the lookout. I'm sitting at the knitting table, so clearly
I would be very disappointed if you're not all knitting at the knitting table.
Well, we are totally knitting at the knitting table.
Okay, good.
We've discussed this. It is happening.
Okay, good.
That was the one so far. This is the first one, the pattern I've seen where I've been like, it hasn't been like, I want to have it in my collection because I'd like to just know that I have it in case I want to knit it. This is the one where I've been like, I want to find yarn for it. I want to start knitting it. Next summer, do not be shocked if it comes back up because I flagged it as something I think I might want to knit next summer. It's it's beautiful, it's open, it's breezy. Do it in a bright teal or a peacock blue.
Yeah.
And it would just have such punch to it, and it'd be so beautiful. And again, do it in a linen or in a really lightweight cotton, and there's no weight to it, so you can wear it in the summer and it's fine. It's not going to kill you. You're not going to be like, why did I do this to myself?
Because shawls are pretty?
That's still not enough for me. And I do love me a shawl.
Hey, I'm wearing a wool shawl in August, so...
Oh, that's because you're crazy. But I didn't like a ton in the lace section, which is weird. I usually love all the lace patterns. We went to the Make It Mitered section.
I thought all of these were really interesting. I don't really want to knit any of them, but I love looking at the pictures.
I want to knit the Fontana.
Which one was that?
The first one.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to knit the first one, and it's called a Fontana. And, oh my gosh. Not in the colors they've done it in, but in a forest green and white. Winter white.
Okay.
As a Christmas throw-on cardigan for Mr. B's house.
Yep.
Because it's too cold in that house in the wintertime. For me.
It's too cold in that house always.
I get cold. So I always have a sweater there anyway. And my brain just went, what? Handcrafted at like a worsted weight.
Yep. That would be a lovely sweater.
It'd be beautiful. I could wear something nice and plain underneath because my family, well, we're huge at Halloween, not so huge at Christmas. So I could have a chillax morning and just walk out the door. Throw on the cardigan when I get to his place. Done.
Yep.
I'm dressed and decorated. Beautiful. I love it. Anything to make my life easier. Also, it is, like, mitering is such an interesting striping pattern. Like, I don't like chevrons. I'm not big into vertical, horizontal stripe patterns. My brain's like, eh. There's something so nice about the angles and squares and mitered that I didn't think I was going to love that much. But, oh my god. there's so much in the mitered section where I'm like,
striking.
I want to make that. Because again, at 5'10", and those stripes in the squares are really structural, just how great would that look?
Yeah.
That's a lot of structure, and my body type likes its structure. It is. I am not a, well, I wear prairie skirts and I wear hippie dresses. It's not the best look for me. I don't care. I'm comfortable. I look great in structure. So 3-piece business suits. The super tailored, fitted fit and flares, like the A-line stuff and the things where, all the classic retro stuff that's come back in.
I'm so glad all that stuff has come back in.
The t-shirt dresses, where it's the blouse t-shirt dresses, those all look really good on me because there's a lot of structure on the garments. And that's exactly what my height and my body type like. So, that's great, but I could do a beautiful structured piece and have it in something that's comfortable enough that if I want to slouch in a chair and read a book, perfect. It's exactly what I'm looking for. You can't slouch in a business jacket.
You can.
Not in
It's
a properly
harder.
tailored one.
Okay. I don't know, I was doing a pretty good slouch in my jacket today.
Oh, no, I can't slouch in my business jackets. It feels wrong. Anyway, the next one I looked and I liked, and I don't know why I love it. I don't know what it is. It is the Mitered Magic. But I did... it's so colorful and it's so square. I have like no other way to describe this thing. It's like squares, and the shoulders are like triangular squares, and I know it would be too much for me. I still really want to make it. And wear it with skinny jeans and knee-high boots.
Yeah.
That
would be a good look for it.
I don't think anybody would go out in public with me, but I really want to do it.
Do it anyway. Do what makes your heart happy.
I really like it. I don't how would you describe that? I don't know other way to describe that other than it's square.
A square doesn't quite cover it, though. It's
I know.
diamond-shaped.
It is. No, you're right. It is diamond-shaped.
It's a square on its side, but in a very attractive manner.
It just looks so pretty. I know. I'm nuts. But I was like, well, yeah, maybe for like minis, right? No, for me. Maybe matching me and mini-me sweaters.
That'd be adorable.
My niece would totally wear that. So long as I did it in a color we both like. Not pink.
Oh, I was about to suggest that screaming glow-in-the-dark pink.
God, I would not wear that. I would not wear that. She wears a lot of black and gray, so I might be able to do like a gray and a color.
Okay.
We could do that. I could live with like a gray and a ocean blue.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
I think I could live with that. That would work. And that would make it definitely cool it down a little. Because, well, the picture's done in oranges and reds, which, I mean, I like a lot as well. But that pattern, in my mind, calls for something just a little bit crisper.
Okay.
And cooler. But that's because, to me, you put orange and reds and the same sort of shade of brown together, and all I can think is 70s. And my brain can't get out of that. And I know that's me, and that's fine. But no, I just really like that Mitered Magic one. It got hearts. I cannot explain why I like it, but I really, really do.
I find it very interesting to look at. I enjoy looking at the picture. I would never wear something like that.
Oh, you could totally see me wearing that
Oh,
walking
you
down.
definitely would, yeah.
Yeah, that is so me. It's not even funny.
Yeah. I would very much not wear something like that, but I really enjoy the picture.
Okay.
And I think you would very much enjoy wearing something like that.
I would totally wear something like that. I liked the Zimmy jacket.
Yeah.
I liked the way the pattern works out. This one I read the full pattern for, because it is a coat. It is a structured coat. And it's just got enough detail on the coat that it's got interest to it, but it's not busy.
It's a good looking coat.
And
That's
my brain went...
It's another thing that I like it, but I don't think I'd ever wear something like that. It's just not my style.
I have to always adjust patterns in magazines. They barely are big enough for me. Or the girls. And that's fine. I have no problem doing that. I would do that one in a tonal gray. So I would do a dark gray and then a really light pale gray.
Ooh, okay.
That way I could wear my brightly colored shawls up at my neck, and you'd have that combination work really well.
That would be really nice.
So I think in the case of that one, it's strictly as you put it in, if they'd done it in neutral colors, or even like if you can knit in black, please feel free to knit in black, a black and a medium tone gray, to get a bit more of a darker tone to it, to tone it down even more on the pattern. I think that would give it such weight to it. It'd be so classy.
Ooh, different textures of brown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like roughly the same shade, but...
Yeah. It doesn't even have to, it can be so close it hurts, it'll still pop into that pattern. It'll just be a heck of a lot more subtle. Which, in my mind, ups the class factor just a smidge.
I agree.
So, that's why that was on the list. Again, not something I want to make, like, right now. That's the Mitered Magic. I really want to make that, and I don't know why. But I like the idea of having it as an option. Say something I want to make later, and I want a statement jacket. I have found a statement jacket I like. A lot of them I don't like. I find them too flashy.
Isn't that kind of the point of a statement jacket?
I think you can have a statement jacket that makes a statement without sequeling it or bedazzling it like it's your jean jacket
throwing
from
glitter
the 80s.
all over the place.
Like, I don't think that needs to happen. I think you can be classy and a statement jacket at the same time.
Okay.
Or have so many tiny little fine dainty pattern lines that I would just look like a freaking walking blimp. Like, no, I don't think so. That's not attractive on my frame. I don't want to wear it. It's a thing. But there you go. That was it. We have curious color work as our next section. Are we even closing in on stuff you like?
Yes. Yes, I started liking stuff in the color work section.
Thank heavens.
It's been a lot of you, I know. I don't, this stuff, it just, I don't know, not
They're beautiful
appeal.
basics, but
It's beautiful stuff, it's just not me.
If you're not looking to add that sort of stuff, or it's not really your style, it's not going to work for you so well. But that's okay, because I'm about to shock Diana with the volume of color work I actually liked in here. I am not traditionally a color work pattern person.
I've done precisely one color work project, and I really liked it, and I want to do more.
Well, how often do we look at books and stuff and we see the color work, and I'm like, eh.
Like, all the time, and I'm like, ooh, yes, color work.
So the fact that I even like any color work patterns alone.
I was kind of mad on this color work.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
And
thing.
you're really into this color work.
Yep. The first one I liked was the Zig Your Zag.
Those are the mitts?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all right.
I can't say bad things about fingerless mitts. People, I live in a basement.
Fingerless mitts are just amazing at all times of the year.
Super handy. I was actually thinking for my sister, because her wrists get cold when she does things and types and does stuff. So I think that's just enough pattern that she'd enjoy it, without being sort of totally in your face. So it wouldn't appeal to her. So I think she would enjoy those. Now, one's for me. The Slouchy Hat and Mitts.
Yes, that was for me also.
The only thing I wrote down was pretty in cap locks. Right at the bottom. It just says pretty.
I like how you said cap locks for actual physical handwriting.
Yes. Yes, I did. How many people physically handwrite a lot of stuff anymore?
Not much.
Yeah.
I occasionally, if I'm writing stuff, I will do the wrist movement on my left hand for Control S.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That'll
Yeah.
happen. But no, I don't know what it is about that color work specifically, but my gosh, that's pretty.
It's like a little bit of stripey, and then it like borders this like nice classic flower pattern.
Yeah.
And I normally don't like rolled brims, but it works with this.
I'm never, up till now, I've never really stopped and looked at a rolled brim and gone, that would be nice. But I just saw this one and I was just like, yes.
Yeah.
I like that. I even like it in the colors they did it in, which is
I
another thing
know.
that never happens. I'm constantly
It's
going,
madness.
but in a different color.
Madness, I tell you.
So I'm like, what is this crazy upsy-down, terpsy-toffy world I've worked myself into? But I definitely liked those. What shouldn't shock you is that's it. Because it's color work.
Yeah, no, again, I like the other stuff, but it's not something I'd ever do.
They look solid, but so few color work patterns catch my eye. I just assume it's because I'm not a massive fan of color work. Which
That
would
makes
make
sense.
sense that color work patterns rarely appeal to me.
I am,
So.
like, crazy traditional in what the kind of color work that I love.
Okay, that's fair.
I like Icelandic yoke sweaters.
I would totally knit one with you. We would just have to find a yoked sweater with an Icelandic print on it that I can handle. And by handle, I mean I would actually wear.
Could do the classic snowflake one.
I am a snowflake fan. This could happen. It could be a thing. It could be our knit along. Should that be our knit along?
Maybe.
A snowflake yoked Icelandic sweater?
Maybe.
We'll just throw you into the deep end.
We shall discuss.
Excellent. We have after podcasting discussions. All right.
Cable section.
Cables. It's the cable workshop.
It's the cable section.
So, how many did you like?
2.
4.
Isn't that the entire section?
Roughly, yes.
Okay. Cabled panel sweater?
Yeah, the cable panel sweater.
Yeah.
With big, chunky wood buttons. Not the little buttons they did. But a wood button.
Yeah. I can see that.
And then, it's the... And you know what? And it doesn't look... Because most of it... It's how they've chosen to do the cabling detail. They've picked and placed it in really good locations.
Mm-hmm.
Down the sleeve. One spine down the middle of the back. Just that little detailing in the front. Perfect. That is the right balance between having too much going on and too little going on.
Thoughtful details.
So important. Love it. I hearted that one twice, so we know I want to knit that one.
Yeah, I really like this one.
I liked that hat, the cloche.
Oh, yeah.
Am I even remotely close on that one?
Cloche? Cloche?
Cloche? I don't know. It just screams walking around in snow to me.
It screams, wear me in the exchange district when it gets cold.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I think we need to knit ourselves some cabled cozy hats.
Maybe.
I think that might need to happen. Get super fancy and line them so our heads melt off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would make our heads melt off.
Well, your head would be closing. My head would melt off. All right. Are we ready for another first?
Okay.
Just like Daddy cabled cardi.
The baby cardigan?
Have you ever, in the length of time you've known me, ever seen me enjoy a kid pattern?
No.
Don't have a problem with kids. Don't have a problem with kid knits. Don't really appeal to me.
Yes, I'm looking at you with confused face right now.
Yeah, I know. I am getting confused faced. There are very few people in my life that I will knit for. Being knit worthy is a huge freaking deal.
Mm-hmm.
And of those people that I find knit worthy, they either already have children, don't want to have children, or are not having children right now. So the list is pretty small. Most of the time, when my friends get pregnant, if they're knit worthy, I will make them a baby blanket.
One size fits all.
One size fits all. Or I will sew them a couple of baby nightgowns. Something that I can do a lot faster than knitting.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a couple of friends in my immediate sphere who I know would like to have children at some point.
Mm-hmm.
This is totally cool. I look forward to these events. These will be exciting big deals. And that cabled cardi is gender neutral. It's on a girl, I believe. It's really hard to tell with kids.
It's on a small human that is cute.
It is on a cute small human.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But you do it in a neutral color, and then it doesn't matter what gender the baby is.
That's a really freaking cute sweater.
It is cute, and I would do it in a medium to light color, in a neutral beigey color, because I'm evil and curse parents. No, kids look cute in it, and if I'm honest, I know most little people, they're not going to wear it for that long anyway.
No.
They're not, so it can look cute and not be super terribly practical in a bulky cardigan. They might get one season out of it. That's fine.
I'm happy if I knit things for kids. I'm happy if I get a couple pictures,
That's
and
all
if
I
they never
need.
wear it again, that's fine.
Whatever.
I
If
have
I
a couple of
really-
adorable pictures. I'm happy.
If I really feel that it needs to be more practical, I will go the blanket route. I will go with the sewn night dresses and stuff, something that they're going to get more wear out of. But that's the first time where it's kind of that just... It's for photos. It's for that one Christmas with the grandparents, and maybe a couple wears afterwards into, the winter season. And that's it. And it gets folded away and it becomes an heirloom thing. Totally. Absolutely. But that is the first one I've run across where I've gone, you know what, I'd actually knit that. And if you think my list of people to knit for is short, you should see my list of children to knit for. There's one. It's my niece. And even her is a debate some days. That's because if we take her and Papa to the knitting store, my project list grows exponentially.
You gotta teach this kid to knit her own stuff.
It's my father and making things for my mom.
Oh. So you need to teach your mom how to knit her own stuff.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know the face I'd get if I suggested that.
No?
Followed promptly with a moccasin at my head.
That's a very Canadian sentence.
Oh my gosh, it's a very mom sentence. But, I don't know, did you like any of the cable stuff?
I liked the Twisted Rib Mitts and Hats set.
I didn't enjoy the last time I knitted Twisted Rib. I couldn't.
I don't think I've ever done Twisted Rib, so maybe I hate it, but I really like the look of it.
The look is great, but I know how much I didn't really enjoy knitting it. And it could have been the yarn. It's entirely possible, because it was on the fingerless mitts I still need help rescuing the thumb for.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I didn't really enjoy the detailing, which is a twisted rib knit. So, maybe, but it didn't really catch my eye. I didn't look at it and go, yes, I want those. I do want the slouchy hat, though, because slouchy cabled hat. But no, that's fine. The only other thing that I really, really liked was the horseshoe throw.
That doesn't actually really, that doesn't really appeal to me.
Do you know why it appeals to me? It's a truck throw for my dad to have in his truck when they're traveling on road trips in the wintertime.
Okay. That is a good use for that blanket.
Yeah, and it wouldn't need to be like a super full size. It could be a smaller lap blanket, but it'd be for Mom when they're traveling back and forth at winter, or say my grandma and grandpa are coming in for their car.
Okay, that would be a lovely car blanket.
Yeah. So I'd say that my brain was like, not at that size or scale, but you scale it down just a smidge. As you hear me turning the page, tell you how large my note writing is.
My goodness.
And my brain went, yes. Like, Mr. B's parents in their car, or even like out at the lake.
Yeah. Just
while you're on the couch and stuff when you're out there in the late season or early spring. Nothing massive, but just big enough to tuck underneath to help keep your lap warm for a bit.
The lake does get chilly.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was thinking with that one. Like, that's one that I would do as a gift knit. You do it in a nice, good quality acrylic. And it's washer machine safe. It's dryer safe. It's meant to be hardy. It's meant to be used that way. And it still warms up quite nicely.
Mm-hmm.
It still does the job. And it's got just an interesting enough pattern to it that you don't really have to worry about it being too busy.
Nope.
Or too much work. And given the repeat on that pattern, once you fall into the repeat and you've memorized it, TV knitting. Done.
So many cables.
Yeah. I don't look at it that way. I would just look at it. This is where I'm at. The row, go. And repeat. Why does it rinse, wash, repeat? See it on the shampoo bottles all the time?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wash, rinse, repeat. One of the two. I got it right one of the ways, so it's fine.
I don't remember which way you said it the first time, so yeah, one of them's correct.
One of them's correct.
One of them is more correcter than the other.
That works for me. Overall, what do you think of it?
I think maybe this is not the magazine for me personally, but it could definitely be the magazine for a great many people who are not me.
This is totally true.
For I'm very picky.
You're allowed to be picky. It's for you. What I like about it is that in the sections they introduce you to some basics.
I did like that.
I like the intro for the color work, because I know for a lot of people it's a struggle to match colors and to understand the color wheel to do it, because you haven't had practice at it. It's like jumping into any sort of new hobby and craft. You don't know the terminology. So I loved that they broke down some of the classic techniques, how to make it easy to do color or work in the color wheel, how to do cables, how to do the mitered squares. Like they broke it into okay, here's a brief hints and tips at the start of each section. Let's do this. You can hear the boys in the background. If you can, they're gaming in the computer room.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting quite active in there, so I'm assuming great things are going on. I like that they did the tips and techniques at the back of the book, and that they included things like the Kitchener stitch. Not everybody knows what the Kitchener stitch is.
I know what it is, and I can never remember how to do it. I need to look it up every time.
Yeah. And if you're building a pattern collection,
yeah,
you might not
definitely
have
good for that.
all of the stuff. So I like the basic core stuff that they have in there as well. The patterns, nothing fancy, nothing to write home about, but it gives you a really good sampling of a lot of different types, which I think is super good. So as far as like rounding out a collection piece, or adding to a library if you're like me and a collector, or if you're new and you want to jump in and you want to start making garments, this would be a great way to start.
Agreed.
Doing those things. So that's definitely what it is. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the pattern index, the back of the book. For the book, we have the little mini pictures with the numbers. Love that.
Super helpful.
Love that. I'm happy that I purchased it, but I got to look at it before I purchased it because I bought the copy. But no, it's not for everybody. And I could totally see how it wouldn't fit for a lot of people. So while good for my shelf, it's not a super necessary purchase. If you like it, yeah, absolutely. Pick it up.
Definitely take a flip through it and see if it's for you.
Absolutely. Oh, on the bright side, I think we've wrapped it up.
I think so.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm ready for bed.
I can't blame you. I gotta travel home. And your fiancé just sneezed.
Good luck editing that out.
I'll leave it in there, whatever. It's about life, right?
Yeah.
Diana, my dear, why don't you tell everyone where they can find us on the internets?
You can find us on Ravelry, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest as Northern Knits Podcast. Our blog with all our show notes is at northernknitspodcast.com. You can also email us at northernknitspodcast@gmail.com. Jocelyn, where can you be found on the internet?
I am on the internet as Amber Dragon. So AMBERDRAGUN. Sometimes it gets fancy and there's a 1 on the end of there. I am the most active on Twitter, Ravelry, Facebook, and I do a lot of the Instagram posts for the podcast, as well as my own personal podcast, or my own personal Instagram page. But I am also on things as far-flung as Periscope, Snapchat. That's right. I have a YouTube account. I have 3 blogs. I could keep going. I even have a Twitch stream, technically. I have never posted anything on it, but I got one. So I am everywhere on the internet. If you find me in one place, you can find me everywhere else. It's always my face in the picture. I don't alter the avatar. The avatar is always a close-up of my face. Different faces. I'm on Pinterest. I'm on Google+.
Who's on Google+?
Really? Me.
Yeah, so am I. I don't remember the last time I went on.
I don't know either. So there's that. I'm on Tumblr. I'm on Reddit. I'm on...
All of the things.
I'm found on the internets as Amber Dragon. That's the best way to do that. And if I don't exist there, tell me. I will go exist there too. No problem.
All right.
Where do you exist on the internet?
I am on Instagram and Twitch as Firewater and Fibre. Fibre spelled Fiber. And I'm on Ravelry as Wool.
Wool-rat? No, wool. Yeah.
I'm on Ravelry as Wool Rat. That is wool-rat.
Mm-hmm.
I stream a virtual knit night most Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/firewaterandfibre.
I can be found in the comment section.
Yes, Jocelyn is my moderator. I am on Twitter as Artemis_134. And I have a website/blog at dianacarrier.com.
Ta-da!
And I have that other Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Artemis, spelled in Leetspeak.
In case you are listening and you're a hacker knitter.
Yeah.
It's a thing. So, that's us. Please, come join us on the Ravelry. Come join us on Instagram. Come join us on Facebook. We're at the point now where we're reaching some milestones, so I'm going to start collecting stuff for giveaways. Ooh. So share us with your friends. Bully them into joining so we can do some fancy sending you stuff. Because that could be fun.
I'll feel so professional when we get to do that.
We're almost at that point where we can start looking at doing that, and I think the Fibre Fest will be a good place to pick up a couple of prizes.
Oh, prize shopping is a dangerous prospect. It's not for me.
Yeah, it's that we're gonna get in trouble. So yes, please come join us there. Share us with all your friends. Let's peer pressure people into joining. No, let's peer pressure the way Red does. Peer pressure. Oh, she's adorable. Okay.
Didn't I get yarn for the Wonder Woman shawl that way?
Yeah, that's how we both ended up getting yarn for the Wonder Woman shawl, because it was neither on our registers until we got peer pressured, which was just us laughing at her saying peer pressure in a deep, dramatic whisper at us.
The dramaticest whisper I've ever heard.
I know, she was all about it. It's fine. I'm looking forward to it. But that's us. That's what we do. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, please come back next week. Give us a thumbs up. I do mean it. Go ahead. Message me. I am up at the weirdest hours, guys. You have no idea.
Yeah, you are. I got nothing. Yeah, you just are.
I am up at the weirdest hours. And that's it, and that's us. So until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
Saying no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit. Nailed it! Okay, sweet Hannah, it is still 25 degrees outside. Turn your air conditioning unit on. I am dying.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm turning this off.
needs AC.